Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Kotak Securities. The weekend is here, that means it's time for our weekly currency insights. And what a week it was. Bear in mind, we had a truncated week, we had a Diwali filled holiday, we had many holidays wherein we were celebrating Diwali. So it was a kind of a truncated week for the currencies. So let us see what happened in the week that passed by. सो फ्रॉम द चार्ट, अगर आप एक ग्लांस डाल दोगे चार्ट पे, आपको पता चल जाएगा कि यूएसडी आईएनआर जो है वो काफी अंडर परफॉर्मिंग रहा है। मतलब जो रुपी है वो काफी डिप्रिशिएट हुआ था डॉलर के अगेंस्ट। वहीं पर जीबीपी आईएनआर, जेपीवाई आईएनआर हैव बीन आउट परफॉर्मर्स। एज टू ये अभी ये क्यों हुआ है, ये आगे के स्लाइड्स में हमें पता चल जाएगा। सो स्टे तो स्टिक विद अस। बट all in all, the GBP INR pair, the JPY INR pair were fantastic performers in the week that passed by. Now, coming on to the drivers of the USDINR pair, as I said earlier, कि गया वीक जो था एक ट्रंकेटेड वीक था, काफी सारे हॉलीडेज थे। सो आईएनआर स्पेसिफिक न्यूज हम लोग को बहुत कम मिली। सो जो भी मूवमेंट हुआ था, वट एवर वी सॉ moves, the moves that we saw in the USDINR pair were majorly because of the dollar movement. The major driver was the movement in the dollar, and the dollar itself had a lot of data points. To start off with, we had the GDP figures, we had the consumer confidence, and we had the flash services, and there were a few more like the new home sales, etc. So I'll put it to you in this way. जो first half में जो भी data points आए, that suggested that the Fed's efforts of continuously increasing the rates have actually started kicking in, and the US economy is kind of shrinking. जिसके वजह से पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने ये बेट करना चालू कर दिया कि देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी दैट फेड माइट ब्रिंग डाउन द पेस ऑफ देयर क्वांटिटेटिव टाइटनिंग because they are seeing the effects and they don't want to drive the economy into a recession. So उन लोगों के ये assumption के वजह से we saw a massive down move in the dollar index. अगर आप लोग डॉलर इंडेक्स ट्रैक कर रहे हो या अगर आप टेलीग्राम चैनल हमारा फॉलो कर रहे हो, आपको ये पता होगा कि डॉलर इंडेक्स जो है फॉर अ ब्रीफ मोमेंट 110 के नीचे ब्रीच करके गया था, which bear in mind is a big deal. So, but in the later half, जब GDP figures आए that showed that the economy is actually kind of expanding, but bear in mind कि ये जो Thursday का जो data था that did little because pull push factors बहुत थे, and the कुछ ऐसे ठोस data नहीं आया because of which we can say that okay fine, the Fed can take this into consideration. Now technically what had happened now, अगर आप चार्ट पर देख सकते हो तो after testing a lifetime high of 83.29, एक मैसिव डाउन मूव हमें दिखाई दी थी। बट यहाँ पर भी एक चीज आप गौर कीजिए कि दिस डिड नॉट ब्रेक बिलो द 82 लेवल, एंड 82 से लेवल से बाउंस करके इट मैनेज टू मूव अप ब्रॉडली। इफ यू सी 83 टू 82, ये जो है एक सॉर्ट ऑफ कंसोलिडेशन जोन बन चुका है ये पॉइंट पर। इफ यू लुक एट द ओआई डेटा दैट वी पुट इन आवर डेली करेंसी इनसाइट्स, आपको पता होगा कि the OI data is suggesting that the market is recommending a range. The market is looking at the pair to be broadly in a range, and that is between 83 to 82 on the downside and 83 on the upside. Euro INR. So again, the ECB had their meeting, and the general expectation from the central bank was that they will increase the rates by 75 basis points. In our previous video, we had spoken about how the central bank was it was in kind of like in a dilemma because of the rising inflation. They had two things that they could do. One was to raise the interest rates like other central banks and risk running into a recession. And second was to go ahead with a softer pace, go ahead at a softer pace, and risk the euro depreciation against the dollar. The market was not even looking at the second option. उन लोग तो सीधा 75 basis point प्राइस इन करके ही चल रहे थे, participants जो भी थे मार्केट के उन लोग. So ECB delivered that, but problem यहाँ हुआ when the uh, governor of ECB was giving her speech. She told that there would be further rate hikes, and yes, that was considered, that was taken positively by the market. But she did not give any guidance on what will be the pace or what will be the momentum of the rate hikes in the coming meeting. She just told that it will be more data driven, and the decisions will be taken from meeting to meeting. Now, this statement was considered as a bit dovish by the traders, by the market participants, and that is why we saw a fall in the euro after the ECB meeting. Now, coming on to GBP INR, जीबीपी में काफी सारे डेवलपमेंट्स हुए इन द वीक दैट पास बाय. सो अगर आपको पता होगा कि लिज ट्रस शी हैड रिजाइंड, एंड देन देयर वाज अ न्यू प्राइम मिनिस्टर, ऋषि सुनाक. नाउ ऋषि सुनाक when he came, he was handed over the responsibility of not only undoing the things that the trust administration did, but also he was held responsible for bringing back the credibility, bringing back the stability in the UK economy. And the way he spoke his words when he said that growth was at the center of all the decisions and all the policies that he'll be making, the market seem to love it. And uska reaction आपने GBP USD pair में देखा होगा, because of which we also saw the GBP INR pair outperforming so much. So कहीं ना कहीं प्राइस एक्शन से ये लग रहा था कि जो ये मूव रहा है of selecting Rishi Sunak as the prime minister was a welcoming move by the market participants. सेकेंड थिंग जो हम लोगों ने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था, डॉलर थोड़ा सॉफ्टन हो गया, मार्केट का मूड जो है वो थोड़ा रिस्क ऑन की तरफ चला गया, थोड़ा रिस्कियर एसेट्स की तरफ टिल्ट हुआ. दैट आल्सो हेल्प द जीबीपी आईएनआर पेयर. नाउ व्हाट हैज बीन द प्राइस एक्शन? अगर आप टेलीग्राम चैनल फॉलो करते हो हमारा, एंड अगर नहीं करते हो तो डू फॉलो इट. टेलीग्राम चैनल अगर आप फॉलो करते हो हमारा, तो ये हम लोगों ने कई बार मेंशन किया है कि ये 94 से लेकर 9430 का जो लेवल है, सॉरी 94 से लेके 9430 का जो लेवल है, ये एक क्रूशियल रेजिस्टेंस होगा. बिकॉज अगर आप यहाँ पर ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हो, प्रीवियसली इट हैज एक्टेड एज अ सपोर्ट, माइल्ड विप्सॉस हियर एंड देयर इज फाइन, बट इट हैज मैनेज्ड टू होल्ड ऑन टू दैट लेवल. सो यहाँ पर भी हम यही एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे, बट इन अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ फ्यू मोमेंट्स इज नॉट व्हाट आई वुड से, बट मोमेंटम इतना स्ट्रांग था कि इट मैनेज टू ब्रेक अबाउ दैट 9430 का जो रेजिस्टेंस जोन था, मतलब जो प्रीवियस सपोर्ट, जो अभी रेजिस्टेंस बन रहा था, वो उसने यूं ही निकाल दिया. एंड गोइंग अहेड, बिकॉज दिस हैज एक्टेड, यहाँ पर भी आप देख सकते हो कि was acting as a resistance, but then the momentum was very strong and that level could not be held. So going ahead, we expect this level to act as a support. And अगर आप चार्ट स्ट्रक्चर देखते हो तो आफ्टर अ मैसिव फॉल, ये जो 2 दिन की कैंडल थी, दैट वाज सॉलिड स्ट्रॉन्ग, and we saw a strong up move. So basically, two factors. One is the geopolitical, the political developments with the new government, with the new prime minister, and second was the softening dollar that helped the GBP INR perform so well. Now coming on to JPY INR. Now there were two main things that moved the JPY INR in the previous week. One was the BOJ policy, another one was yen following the US 10-year bond yields. Now, another thing that I would like to add here is, if you went through our video that we posted last week, हमने कहा था कि the BOJ and the MOF authorities are threatening the bears कि they are keeping a watch on the speculative bets against the yen. And that evening we saw massive falls. Again, we believe that it was the Japanese authorities taking steps to arrest the speculative bets, but then there was some appreciation seen in the yen. Now, we had the BOJ policy on Friday. BOJ again, it stuck to its plan of maintaining use policy and controlling the yield curve rather than controlling the depreciation in the yen. But that was in line with expectation, and the market had sort of neutral reaction to it. Then we saw the US 10-year bond yields kind of falling below the 4% level, and the yen also was following that. So net, it was a good week for the yen as well. And if you look at the price action, yen ने काफी sharp bounce back दिया था after testing a low a couple of days back. And अगर आप ये 56.20 का अगर आप लेवल देखो, तो वो for a brief moment वो breach कर गया था ऊपर की side. Now, the events to look out for in the next week. Now, bear in mind, again, there are a lot of news, economic data points, a few central bank policies that we'll keep our eyes on. But the two major events that we are looking out for in the next week is the Fed policy, and then we have the BOE monetary policy. Now, after these two central banks have come out with their policies, we have a few other data points that would spike up the volatility. For starters, we have the job openings, then we have the hourly earnings, non-farm employment, and unemployment rate. All these, again, are crucial data points for the participants to get a gauge of what the Fed will be doing in the upcoming policy. So, what do the currencies look like going ahead? So dollar rupee का मैंने as such जैसे आपको बोला है कि the market is at the moment looking at 83 as a resistance level and 82 as a support level. So broadly we can expect range bound move from the dollar rupee pair and expect the pair to move in between this level. Coming on to Euro INR, on the upside, broadly it is going to be range bound, but on the upside, we would see resistances coming near the 83 mark. On the downside, 81.80 is where we could expect the supports to be. Coming on to GBP INR, now that there has been a massive up move, as I mentioned earlier, 94.30, 94 का जो zone था, that is going to act as a support level. And on the upside, we see some headwinds coming around the 96, 96.15 mark. JPY INR, again, because the range has expanded a bit, we expect the 56 level on the downside, 55.90 on the downside to act as a support, and 57.25 on the upside to act as a resistance. Bear in mind, none of these currencies are showing signs of exponential moves unless and until there is some new development. Broadly, अगर हम लोग बात करें तो currencies are going to be range bound. So that's all for the weekly currency insights today. Do follow our Telegram channel. Trust me, it is quite informative. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll keep uploading videos and keep updating you. Thank you all for joining in.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.